Okay friends, welcome back. We will be talking about network fundamentals in this particular module. It is like we have seen how to drive a car and now we are looking under the hood. We have seen how communication process take place, we have seen how packets are transferred from one place to the other, and now we will see exactly how that takes care of. Okay. The network takes care of this process, okay. And we will be looking at that is what I mean by network fundamentals. Okay. We start our journey with networks and begin with fundamentals now. Okay. We have seen this thing and now we are looking under the hood. Okay. So, earlier chapters, the study that we had is going to help us actually. For example, when I show you brake and I will tell you, remember we applied brakes when we wanted to stop, makes it easier. That is the reason why I have adopted this approach, which is little different than conventional, but works very well. Okay. What are the ingredients of a network? If you ask a layman, you say that fine. If you ask your own self, probably you will come across with an answer that network is basically a collection of devices. Now, I purposefully have not used word computers. Earlier, people used to say that a computer, a network is collection of computers. Now, we do not dare to say so, because half of the machines connected to world today probably are smartphones and not computers. And the day is going to come where other than computers are going to be more than 70%. Lot of devices, your smart watches and implantable medical devices, sensors and all that, hundreds of other things are there which are going to get connected to internet. They are already getting connected to internet. So, we will use word devices and not computers. Okay. Also, we interconnect using wired or wireless connections, that again is the component of a network. And the connection, when a computer connects to the other computer, is not for controlling, only for passing information. So, there is no master and slave in almost all conventional computing, conventional networking. Sometimes it is also used for control, but this is in general not used. Devices work independently. Every device in a network takes decision on its own. Nobody is slave and nobody is going to command. Okay. Okay. They have no control over others. They take a decision on their own. They are quite autonomous in that sense. But obviously, they will work according to networking discipline that we will talk about. That is called protocol. How protocol drives this discipline is also quite interesting, but that is it. Everybody follows the protocol, but they take their decisions independently. Okay. For example, you decide when and where to send. Nobody will tell you how to do it or when to do it. Okay, you decide, and basically you decide based on the user sitting on top of you. Is a machine which sends the packet, but only when the user tells the machine to do so. Okay. I will also follow a typical structure of a packet. You can't just devise a packet of your idea. There is a typical structure followed in internet. You will, all of us, in fact, every communicating devices to internet follows the very structure. Okay. And the protocol is very critical component. It will actually decide how this process takes place. So, the network is incomplete without this intangible thing called a protocol. Is basically a discipline, basically a method which decides how exactly this communication takes place, who will send first and how it is responded, and so on and so forth. We have looked at some examples of protocol in earlier modules. For example, when you say hi, your friend also tells you hi. So, that is how you begin conversing. Okay. And it brings discipline to the entire process. Okay. And the communication happens under the control of protocol. Protocol decides, we have seen the SMTP, the client says hello only when the server responds back, server sends 220. Okay. And what are the commands acceptable, what are the commands which are not acceptable is also given. Clear definition of such things are provided when you talk about protocols. Okay. Most of the internet protocols are request response protocols. The client sends a request and the server responds back. SMTP, the example that I gave earlier, you could remember that thing, or you may go back and read that part later. that it is basically somebody you are sending a request and getting the response back. In my own definition as a network, I could write this. You read any book and you will find a different definition. So, it is just fine if you have some other definition in your mind, absolutely fine. But let me try to explain why I have come across this particular definition. It is basically a collection of computing devices and not networks. I have already given you why. They are autonomous in nature because they take decision on their own. They are interconnected by wired or wireless channels or the wireless means. They are governed by a set of protocols or standard protocols in order to share data and resources. Okay. So, this is my own definition. Okay. Now, the next thing, once we have seen what networks are, once we have defined what networks are, the next thing is to see what types of networks that we come across. And there are many ways we can categorize networks, and we will begin with something called scope or the size of the network. The second one, how they are connected, is a wired way or wireless way. Wired networks are quite different than wireless networks. Their characteristics are different, their way of working is different, and the protocols are different, and obviously things happening inside is definitely very, very different. Next thing that we are going to look at are protocols which just send data everywhere kind of broadcast, or point to point, you just pick up a receiver and just send that information to it. So, which way you do your job. Okay. So, that is broadcast and point to point. Last one is called topology. Okay. Which way the network nodes are organized, that is next thing. Okay. When you talk about scope, you begin with something called local area networks. Okay, there are smaller networks available called wireless personal area networks, but we will not throw much light on that. Let us look at something which is very, very common called local area networks, that you can find almost everywhere you go, like your offices, your home, and they are all local area networks. How you define local area networks? There are few things. They are confined to 2-3 kilometers roughly, and that is the boundary usually that is provided. Nowadays you can have LANs which are much bigger, and they are owned by a single party. Now, this is very, very critical. Your office network is owned by the company, your home network is owned by your own self. All nodes and connector are of the same quality. Obviously, when you are buying, the single party is buying both cables as well as computers, they always buy compatible things. So, you will not have usually a problem of mismatch, one computer very fast, the other one slow, and two very fast computers connected with a very poor wire, that kind of a case will not exist in LAN. Okay. And you have a single and consistent network wide policies. Suppose you have some policies in your company, then it is quite consistent. Okay. It is not that on one machine there is one policy, on the other machine there is the other policy. No, usually a very consistent policy is provided. Not only that, once you have LAN, and you know the biggest problem today is of spams. So, what you can do is, if you have a LAN, you can put a filter in just the beginning of or the periphery of the network, where the spam is just filtered out, it will not come in actually. So, that kind of gateway level filtering is possible here. Okay. A request for websites which are not allowed, the other way around. Suppose you do not want your employees to access mails during lunch, except lunch hours during office period, you can do that, and LANs can provide that. This is an example of how you can set and use policies. How to do that? Obviously, we will not be learning in this particular course, but that also quite interesting. Okay. And there is no likelihood of congestion, no traffic jam, because if you have fast computers, you also have good cables. So, you do not have the issue of traffic jams. We will see that this is a critical case with internet, and usually connected using something called a star topology. You have a hub or a switch and everybody connects to it, and that makes it star. Okay. It looks like this. So, when you have a hub or something, is a switch, and these are called ports. Okay. So, every computer is connected to it usually, and most of the routers today have some wireless connectors also. So, you have some wireless laptops also get connected, okay. But they are all connected to this hub. So, it is basically a case where everybody is connected like this. Okay. Physically it is like this, logically it is like this, everybody is connected in this fashion. That is why this topology is known as a star topology. Okay. So, that is the case, both in wired or wireless, this is the case. Now, the connection based categorization that comes next. Okay. Instead of local area networks, you can have wider networks like internet. The difference is that the in bigger networks, what we have is every node owned by a person who is connected to internet, but the lines do not belong to him. Lines belong to the service provider. When the service provider provides that line, the line may be of inferior quality, and the machines that ISP is using may also be of inferior quality, may be very good, but then number of users, it may not be able to cater to all users actually at the same point of time. So, it is quite possible that your own machine is very fast, but you will not get the internet speed that you like, and you will not be able to work that fast. So, that is the problem with anything other than local area network. Anyway, so this is the other one. So, if you have at the lower end, when you talk about that span, the lower end you have a very small local, the personal area network, where your machine is connected to some wireless devices and you use Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is an example of wireless personal area network protocol. LAN is of the higher order, and then you have internet. Okay, there was something called MAN and WAN, and you may get some idea about both of them in the write up, but I do not spend much of a time, because they are not actually in practice, they are not used. Okay. Now, let us look at connection based on base categorization. There are two basic things, wired and wireless. Both of them, if you pick up a wired connection or wireless connection, basically only one thing is being sent and received, electromagnetic waves, okay, or very light is also electromagnetic wave. My voice is also electromagnetic wave. Almost everything that is transferred in this world, the energy is in form of electromagnetic wave of one form or the other. So, whether the sender and receiver communicate using wired or wireless mechanism, both of them use electromagnetic waves. Okay. Normally, if you use wired connection, they use UTP or fiber optic cable, unshielded twisted pair of fiber optic cable. Wireless communication, currently we have two type of wireless communication which are in vogue. One is something that you use access using 2G, 3G, 4G, that is ISP based connection, and the other one using Wi-Fi. Okay. There is something called WiMAX which was introduced and was getting popular, but this 2G, 3G, 4G, now 4G is based on something called LTE. So, LTE is growing in popularity. So, WiMAX is likely to fail. Okay. So, not very much in vogue today. So, we will not be talking about that much, we will only look at WiMAX and some part of our later modules. Okay. A wired device using point to point connection, obviously when wire connects two devices, the electromagnetic wave travel from that device to that device within that wire. Unlike that, in a wireless device will actually send everywhere. Okay. So, it is not point to point, but broadcast. Okay. One more thing, in most cases when the signals, if there are two different signals, they collide, the result is garbage. Okay. In most cases, in some typical cases it is not so, but in most cases they produce garbage. And when that is called collision, when two signals collide and produce a collision, okay, produce garbage, it is called collision. Okay. So, in wireless and even wired world, when there is a collision, there are some strategies. One of the most common strategies used by computer networks is that retransmit after random time if there is a collision. This is a standard method. How exactly it is done, we will see later. Okay. And there are many methods actually. If you want to avoid collision, frequency division multiplexing and time division multiplexing, which is being used by our GSM phones, and there is a method called CDMA, which was used by some of our mobile phones, now no longer being used, but that also is a technique which is used actually. Wired networks, we have something called unshilted twisted pair. Category 5 and category 6 are most common. What those things are, we will look at later, but this is something which is common. And high end solution prefer something called fiber optic cable, that is in vogue today. Okay. So, we will be learning about both of them in more detail later. Ethernet is de facto standard. So, if you buy a wireless LAN today, you will not get anything other than Ethernet today. Okay. Some time back there are a lot of other competitors, but Ethernet has won the race, and with a very long margin. It seems unlikely that you will ever find some other wireless standard, but I may be wrong. Any user to transmit when it deems fit, that is a strategy that Ethernet followed, and if there is a collision, retransmit. Ethernet follows that strategy. Okay. Okay. Methods where there is no broadcast and all connections are point to point in case of wired connection. Okay. In the beginning Ethernet was broadcast on the first version itself, but later versions are all point to point. So, there is no broadcast. Two machines, they have a direct wire connecting to them. In the first version of Ethernet, there was a single wire and all machines are connected to that wire. So, that was basically a broadcast kind of a mechanism. One person sends, everybody would receive. In the all subsequent versions, you have one node connected to the other node directly with a single connection, okay, point to point connection. Wireless networks, obviously weakest advantage, let you be on the go. Okay. So, something called Aloha was the first wireless network built. You better look at reference 1 for more details, my first book on computer networks. Two wireless networks which are used, Wi-Fi and WiMAX. WiMAX is no longer there in the race, but Wi-Fi is still being used by most of us. There is something called MANETs, mobile ad hoc networks. When you have some devices like laptops and smartphones and they start talking to each other directly without having an access point, it is called mobile ad hoc network. Why it is called ad hoc? Because the topology is ad hoc. Okay. And these are wireless networks, but with a specific spatial requirements. Okay. We will be learning about that too later. Two of the challenges in this particular protocols are very critical. The first one is power. So, if your battery is dipping, for example, normally what will happen, suppose I have 3 devices 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Suppose if I have 3 devices 1, 2 and 3, and normally if let us call this A, let us call this B and let us call this C. If A want to send something to B, in case of wired network, invariably will be passed to B and B will pass to C, that is simple. But in case of wireless, the problem could be that if B's battery is deeping, you can't do that actually. If you start doing that, B will go down. So, that you should not do. So, that is the additional problem that we face. What if the battery is dipping? Okay. So, that is an additional problem, the power consumption. The other one is security. When it is broadcast, anybody can listen to it. So, there is every chance that your data may leak. Okay. So, that is the problem. One of the most critical wireless networks today are called IoT devices. For example, if you have implantable medical devices like insulin pumps and all that, and they talk to the doctor's mobile in a wireless fashion, this is one example. And the soil testers, small sensors talk to the farmer's laptop and tell exactly what is the level of moisture in the soil is the other example, and so on and so forth. So, those are IoT devices and those are wireless networks. These wireless networks, IoT networks and MANETs, they have their own challenges which demand a lot of additional things. A lot of people are working on it, deriving protocols and so on and so forth, very active area on research. Okay. Now, let us concentrate a bit on this type of network, sensor networks and IoT based networks. Okay. For example, in an automated car, if you pick up a car, there are a lot of sensors, a camera, and if you have heard about this Google's car, there are thousands of sensors in it. There is a camera and there is everywhere. So, the brake pedal, that sensor should be informed if the camera finds an obstacle in front of the car. So, that kind of a communication should take place. So, that again happens under some wireless network this thing. So, there is a need. IMD I have already talked about. IMD is implantable medical device. Wildlife monitoring also uses this kind of stuff. Like a lot of ships in an Australian farm, I just heard about one professor who was working on it, that a lot of ships are there. So, every ship has something called an RFID chip, and so you do not need to go out and count your ships, they are already they can be automatically counted, and you have a wireless network which can do all that for you. So, that is wildlife monitoring, habitat monitoring, you look at how the birds grow and all that. Okay. There are a lot of challenges. The sensor network pose humongous challenges. The biggest one is weaker batteries. Very small devices, obviously you can't afford to pay more for tiny sensors. So, obviously it is always constrained. Okay. And many a times they are to be deployed in hostile conditions like jungles and all that. Even battlefields, people have used sensors to be deployed in battlefields to monitor enemy activities. Now, it is a very hostile, in real sense it is in enemy territory. So, quite hostile condition. Okay. And you will have to deal with lot of them. Okay. Thousands of sensors in some cases are very common. Okay. Communication based categorization happens again in two forms. One is broadcast, other is point to point. Broadcast, everybody will listen. Point to point, you are sending, one person is receiving. Okay. And the advantage of broadcast, that you do not need an address. For example, if I come to a class and say who is Mohit, and somebody will raise the hand, then there is a message for you. I may just say that this is a message for Mr. Mohit. I do not need to actually go and talk to that person. I do not know who Mohit is, but I just say it, I will just broadcast. Whoever is Mohit receives that message, others will ignore. So, that is the example of broadcasting. When I broadcast, when a node broadcasts something, it contains a receiver's address. So, whoever is the receiver will receive this thing message, and the rest will discard. So, that is a broadcasting method, which is very simple, and that is the biggest advantage of this thing, and is great for small networks, very easy to communicate. Okay. But point to point obviously is better for conventional communication. Okay. In case of a broadcast, what happens is you can see that the sender is sending. Now, this is the middle part is basically hub or switch. So, the sender sends this thing, and the second cycle, the hub, okay, the central device, send it to each one of them, all of them. Okay. So, it is being broadcasted, you can see that. Okay. In case of P2P or point to point, sender sends and the receiver receives, you can see that. Okay. Nobody else will receive. Not only that, in conventional case like our internet, what will happen? There are multiple networks involved. So, in this network, the sender has sent, but the receiver is somewhere else on the other network. So, it will actually be, this will be given to this router. Now, this router communicate to the other router. Remember, this is something which we have already seen, router 1 to router 2 and so on. Eventually, reach to a router, this one, this router. This router is where the receiver is directly connected. So, this router eventually will transmit it to this. So, this is point to point. These networks can also be categorized using utility, how they are being used. Okay. By design, all networks are quite generic and used for almost all purposes. I may use my network for writing this PPTs and writing this text for this module, and you may do the same thing, they use the same node, same machine for calculating spreadsheet, and somebody else may do this thing for generating his own design of an automobile and so on and so forth. So, this the very network, very computer can be used for multiple purposes, but then there are some networks which demand specific utilities, and in fact, I have talked about some, and there are many things like these are conventional purposes, okay, for which we use networks. Okay. In fact, there are some categories here, 3 categories I have sorry, it is not 2, it's 3 categories. Sensor network is one, home network is the other, and IoT, which is basically a combination of both, is next. So, we will be looking at all of them later. Okay. We are not going to discuss about them more detail now, we will be looking at all those types of networks in a little more detail soon. Before we conclude, we look at the components of the network. Okay. Whenever you talk about networks, remember this is from where we began actually. We started talking about how do you define network, and we said many things about what a network should contain, and said that protocol is something which is intangible. Here we are going to talk about tangible things. What are the components? Network card is what you need for communicating. Without network card, you cannot connect to a network. Communication lines which connect those network cards to the devices which can send your data forward, like hubs and intermediary devices, hubs and switches. Okay. There are many intermediary devices. Hub is one, repeater and amplifier are the other, layer 2 and other layer 3, layer 4 switches and routers. Okay. There are many devices. In fact, I have not listed a few devices. For example, one device which many networking books would talk about, like, is called bridge. Now, bridge is no longer in use, so I am not using it, but you may find the mention of bridge in both references, first and second, but anyway they are not in vogue today. So, I will not discuss about them further. What are repeaters? Okay. Repeaters work at a physical layer. What is the job of physical layer in this thing? So, whenever you send, for example, this is called digital signal, this is digital data or signal. So, they are always of this type, square, and when they pass through the transmission media, they change their shape. Now, that is the problem. If that change the shape, the receiver may not be able to get it exactly. Okay. For example, I am sending 1010 and the receiver will not get 1010, but 1110, then it is wrong. It should only get 1010 if I am sending 1010. So, this deshaping of the signal should be converted back to shape, and repeater does exactly that. So, this distorted signal is fed into repeater, repeater will regenerate that signal. So, repeaters are placed. Okay. When the communication line is carrying your digital signal, repeaters are placed in between to make sure the signals get reshaped. So, that is the first interconnecting device. Remember, it works at a physical layer and operate on signals. Remember, the job of physical layer is to convert bits into signals and send that across. So, that signal gets diminished at some point of time, you need to increase the strength of it. Repeaters are used for digital signal, but if you are using analog signal, there is something called amplifier which is used. Amplifier amplifies the signal, increases the power. The hub is a device which is used for broadcasting. So, if one person is sending, each one of us will receive, that is hub. Switch is same in the look, there is no difference, but the only difference in working is that one person is sending, and if this is the receiver, you only get the response and nobody else. See here the switch, okay. One person is sending and one person is receiving. In fact, it is also possible that this is sending and this is receiving at the same point of time, no problem. Both communication can go in parallel with switch. Okay. With that note, we will conclude, but before we complete, let me recap what we did. In this particular module, we looked at something called network fundamentals. We started with network definition. We have seen that the network definition includes devices which can communicate to each other, lines which can help them communicate, protocol which govern the process of communication, and then we have seen that protocol is very vital. It is basically something that you can't see, but is something which governs the process of communication. Every device connected to network are basically independent. The wires are only used for communication and not for controlling. Okay. Every device work on their own, it is basically autonomous, but it is very critical for them to remain in network discipline to communicate. So, all of them follow the protocol, and that is why they are able to communicate. And then we looked at the categorization of network in many ways. We looked at division of network in size. So, we looked at wireless networks, personal area networks and local area networks and bigger networks. Then we looked at this categorization of networks using whether it is a wired network or wireless network, and then we looked at the utility, okay, based on the three things we specified: sensor networks. We also said that there is something which is called IoT based networks. We will be looking at IoT based networks later. And then in the final discussion, we looked at some of the interconnecting devices like hub switches, and finally, we looked at this thing, the repeater. The repeater amplifies, the repeater reshapes the signal, basically a digital signal. With that note, I would like to conclude. Thank you all.